Hola to my amigos. What an interesting day. Welcome to the Four Randos. It's Willie Will again. My mind is telling me, but my body is telling me to talk about this.
We got Morgan in the building. Morgan from Chi-Town.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Is it the Windy City also? That's also the nickname?
Yeah.
Yes.
What other nicknames do they have?
That's it.
Nah, that's
I know
Like
where you're
Killer
going with
Central?
this. Okay,
Nah,
that's what I thought. Anyway.
Gotham.
Gunshots for breakfast. Okay. And your man Glenn.
Ignorant.
G. The OG.
The OG.
What we got today, man?
Well, I think we got a lot to talk about today. We got. Can we just dive into the R.Kelly stuff and get it out the way, and talk about your feelings and did you watch the docu?
I did watch all 6 episodes of Surviving R.Kelly, and there is a lot to unpack. Did you guys watch it?
I watched each and every one. Yes.
I think somebody's lying.
Wow.
You're lying. You did not watch
I just saw
it.
parts of
Definitely
it.
made
You saw
it.
some parts.
Yeah.
You saw some parts on YouTube.
On YouTube and like people's like IG pages.
Yeah, I mean,
And talking about it and reactions and all that. So,
all
yeah.
on social media. That has been the discussion for the past 3 days. And it's unbelievable how much of a monster R. Kelly really is. He's a demon. He's trash. Like, honestly, I don't know how he's still able to walk on the street today, because if I was a parent of one of the victims, easily, like, R. Kelly would be gone. Like, he would have been gone a long time ago. But
Say how you really feel. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's how I really feel. Like, I feel like if he's not dead, he should at least be in jail. His music should not be on streaming services anymore. We should not support him on tour. Like, he should not be able to write for artists anymore. I know that's a fairy tale world, but that's just how I feel. Like, I don't think he should be allowed to exist after what Lifetime has revealed to us in the documentary series.
Wow,
That's
strong feelings.
I don't even know if that's.
Who can top that?
Who can top that?
Who can top that?
So I just want to point out a few things that stood out to me from the documentary. R. Kelly was molested at a young age. He and his brothers were both molested at a young age. I think the documentary said he was molested at 7 all the way through the age of 13.
Is that really true?
Right. Is it,
No, I think it
What
really
do we
is
know
true.
about that? Like,
Like-
what
Well,
part was that?
his dad, his mom?
Actually, allegedly, his sister.
Ooh.
Yeah, she made R. Kelly and his brothers perform, I think it was oral sex on her.
Wow.
Now,
So-
that's the...
What's that movie about the same thing when the sister actually was the one who did the abuse, and the same thing with Omar Epps? Oh my God, one of my favorite movies. I forget the name of it, but yeah, okay.
We also learned in the documentary that R. Kelly is illiterate. That's not funny, but, it is because of all the memes that people were saying about him, how he couldn't read the support or whatever. So that I thought that was funny. But it's not
still illiterate, or he was illiterate?
No, he still
back
is
then?
illiterate. He has his staff read the comments from social media, like the comments about him on social media.
But how can you read and not?
He's so illiterate that he signed over like some of his music rights in his contracts because he didn't know what he was signing.
All right, what other? Give us the whole rundown for people who didn't watch the whole. What was it? 6 episodes.
I'm gonna give you some of the rundown because
hook us up.
I mean, you guys, if you saw, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't see it, it's just so much to unpack. But he was also. Now, I know some of you knew this already, but he also married Aaliyah at age 15, and his tour manager forged their marriage certificate. So on the certificate, it actually said that Aaliyah was 18 at the time of their marriage, but she was actually 15. And R. Kelly was 27 at the time.
So the marriage was annulled, but actually that's not really a marriage.
It's not annulled because it's not official.
Wow.
It's
so did he
faked
really
out.
marry her then?
No, he really did.
He did?
He did.
No, I mean like legally.
Like, legally, it's not.
Yeah.
No, legally.
No, like he did the
Okay,
marriage
you guys are
ceremony, but
Because
it's
she says it's been forged.
yeah.
If it's
So
been
that means
forged,
it's
then
not really real.
It happened, but it's
Yeah,
not
that means they
real.
got married, but it was never official.
Yeah,
because
Okay.
then
the
it means that
documents was
she
not.
consented. And,
Let me not come out on
Right.
any side that sounds like
Go
I'm
ahead.
supporting R.
No.
Kelly in this thing.
But go
Let me
ahead.
just
Go
start.
ahead.
Oh,
Give us the
okay.
info.
So one of R. Kelly's brothers is in jail. I think his name is Bruce Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Carrie. I think Carrie is the baby brother. But Bruce Kelly is in jail, and he was in the documentary, and he said that R. Kelly's his thing for young girls is a preference. And I thought that was strange because that's not a preference.
Yeah.
A grown man having feelings and sexual relationships with a kid is not a
minor.
preference. A minor.
It's not a
Interesting.
preference. Also, you can just tell his brother also has issues.
Yes,
That's why
he has
he's-
blue eyes, and you can
didn't
tell.
he-
You can look at his eyes and tell that he is
He
crazy.
in jail doing
So
something.
you did see the brother.
I've seen the brother.
Yeah,
I've
he
seen the
looks
article. He
super
looks
crazy.
scary.
Yeah.
He
Didn't
looks
they
very
do the
scary.
whole interview with the brother while the brother was in prison?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and yeah.
I don't know. You can let us know which of these topics we're gonna leave up to debate, or we're gonna leave to just okay. This is what happened, and let's just let it ride.
Let her continue with the rundown.
continue in, please.
So episode 1, maybe it was about him.
Yeah, well,
Backup
this is
slide.
kind of like episode 1 and
Right.
2. It started off about R. Kelly, about his life, his background, and then it kind of went into like how he all got started with like showing up to Kenwood. Kenwood High School is a high school in Chicago. It isn't located in Hyde Park. And when R. Kelly was in his 20s, like late 20s, he would show up to Kenwood High School and like search out teenage girls to sleep with, and you know, they be in his car and whatnot and do all those type of things. He also appear at basketball games and McDonald's where the kids hang out. Like, it's just so crazy. There was also a point in the documentary where Sparkle, do you guys remember Sparkle?
Yes,
Who's Sparkle?
You don't know who Sparkle is?
That's one of the chicks.
One
She,
of the
well,
chicks.
not...
One of the wife?
No,
no,
not the
she's
wife.
a singer from the 90s.
Okay. She's the one that he
He kind of put her on. I would say, would you say he put her on in the 90s?
No, I mean, put it like this. R. Kelly, one of the things that he did, not to break up the story, was to manipulate these girls into thinking that I'm the one that built your career, right? But having to sit down with the producer and you continue on with your career doesn't mean that they made you. That means you had to sit down with somebody one time, but that doesn't mean he wrote every song and gave you your sound and you went and did all the shows with you. That's not what it means. But it's his way of inferring power and dominance on these girls who think that they need him.
right.
Yeah.
They're not old enough to think for themselves.
And
like,
people don't
understand the
even-
situation.
People who have more money, you can say whatever they want. Hey, I got you this job. I introduced people. Without them, you wouldn't be nobody. Everybody can say that. It's not the truth. Because ultimately, you're the one that got to do the hard work to get people. In order to put out an album, you got to get, say, 300 to 400 people on your side. That doesn't happen with one person. You actually got to make the connections and do all the work. Yeah. When they say, okay, go in the studio, you got to go in the studio. When they say, okay, go ahead and sing, you got to sing. When they say, go ahead and impress these people at this thing and know the lyric, you have to do all the work. So him saying that, well, I'm the reason why you did this. What about all the other stuff that I did? And convincing everybody that's my work.
Right.
That's not your work. You know what I'm saying? Aaliyah had to sing the songs and have the flow and have the general. You can't have every single person in there doing the same thing. So obviously it's just part of the game. And these kids don't even know, not even kids, because older people do the same thing, but people don't know that it's actually you're doing the hard work and I'm just supporting you. So he confuses support with control. And that's a complex issue.
Yeah,
so.
he definitely has a God complex issue.
Nothing. He knows exactly
exactly because he knows
he's
smart. He's smart enough to know. Smart enough to know how to manipulate people into thinking something different. He's clever enough to be smarter than that.
But he's also dumb enough that he can't read or know what he's signing in his contracts. But that's another
his priorities.
story.
Priorities. Right, exactly.
What about Sparkle?
So Sparkle said one time she was at R. Kelly's house, and this is the time when he got married to Andrea Kelly. I know you guys know who Andrea Kelly is by now. She was his ex-dancer.
Okay.
This is his ex-wife, sorry.
Okay.
So one time Sparkle said that she was at R. Kelly's house. They were watching the Bulls game, and she heard a knock. And no one paid attention to the knock. Like, it was her and a bunch of guys and R. Kelly. Everybody ignored the knock.
I did see this part, yep.
And she said she heard another knock. And she said something to R. Kelly. She said, Rob, the knocking, I know you heard it. Like, what's going on? And then he leans back and he looks over and his wife, his now ex-wife, she peeks out the door and she says, "Is it okay?" She asks R.Kelly, "Is it okay for her to come out and eat?" So R. Kelly's like, "Yeah, come on out." So that just showed me, that just proved to us that he was holding his wife hostage. Like, she had to ask him when she could eat. And I just thought that was inhumane. Like, it's unbelievable that someone would do that to their wife.
It's like training an animal.
Yeah, it's like
what do you think about
a
that?
freaking animal.
Right. He is inhumane for having that kind of setting, and he's kind of sick for that too. The thing I want to know is, whoever that was sitting with him, how did they like not react, call the cops if he heard something like that? It's like, that's kind of like slavery. You're like, whoa,
Yeah,
I mean, back in the 1900s.
That's a better question.
Is
That's
she a
a better
maid?
question is
Did you ask him if he was a maid? If she was a maid of the house? But you don't even treat maids like that in the house. So it's like,
Right, maids don't have
Right.
to ask if they can come down to get something
Yeah.
to eat. Like, children don't even do
But
that.
what did she say in an interview? Because she obviously gleaned over that part.
she definitely did. That's what I'm.
She kind of did glean over that part, and that's why I'm gonna like get into the next thing. So Sparkle, so this is why a lot of people are questioning Sparkle's like true intentions. Like, is she genuine or is she not genuine?
Or credibility.
Yeah, they're judging her credibility.
Right.
Because Sparkle brought her niece, her 14-year-old niece, then around R. Kelly, and we all know that the 14-year-old niece is the girl from the
Alleged video.
that
Alleged
terrible child
PP
molestation
Okay.
video
Right.
where R. Kelly was seen peeing into the 14-year-old girl's mouth, and that was proven to be Sparkle's niece.
Not good optics right there. Not good
So
optics.
Sparkle brought her niece around R. Kelly because she thought that he could project her career. Like, she thought that R. Kelly could make her niece into a star, and she didn't think that R. Kelly would do something like that to her niece. Even though she knew what type of person he was, she
After
didn't
seeing
believe that because they were like close, they were cool, that he would do that to her niece. Well, she played the wrong game because, as we know, he had sex with the 14-year-old, and then that led to the trial and everything else.
So he did go to trial for this. So this is not the first time we've heard this news from R. Kelly. And how do we feel that
Right,
it's
2002.
2002, and how do we feel that it's
also-
resurfacing, and like, why is it this being like in the spotlight at the moment? Is it an issue?
I think he was indicted in 2002, right? Or he was charged
He
in
was
2002.
charged officially in 2002.
And then also they said in the documentary that they didn't go to trial until 2008 because there were a lot of racism and prejudices regarding that trial, because they waited, I think, intentionally on purpose for 6 years, because at that time the victim, in 2008 when they had the trial, the victim, it was harder to prove that the victim was that 14-year-old girl because now she was a grown woman. 6 years later, she's a grown woman. And then they also said something about the judge. He broke his, I think he had broke his leg or something like that. So, but he refused to give the, you guys help me. He refused to pass it on
refused
to
to
another
pass it, yeah,
judge.
okay.
And then also that is the same judge who was on the Laquan McDonald case. So.
yeah.
Okay,
And also
so-
that judge was on the documentary, and he said the reason why R. Kelly, another fact why R. Kelly did not, why he was not proven guilty on that case is because the judge said that he himself did not like the way the black girls were dressed. He didn't like the way they looked.
Right, because they were suggestive or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Right. So
All right, so what's, I mean, like,
this can go into many ways. First,
this can go in many ways.
This
Wait,
is a
so-
lot, and this
yeah.
is not even like, this is like in the second, third episode.
right.
So is there
That's
anything
insane.
up for negotiation, debate, needs explaining from this whole thing? I saw a post by
Okay.
Jada Pinkett, and she's like, Pickett or Pinkett?
Pick it.
Okay, Pickett. And she's like, how can this happen? Like, why, I just don't understand what's going on. And like, do you have any questions like that? Or what are outstanding questions, or if there are any, after the whole 6-part special?
All right. My question initially, because I was stunned, not stunned, but like, just like, surprised the fact that why is it resurfacing at this time? I mean, there's so many, like, people say that R. Kelly has enough influence to push the date back or the court. Is that why this documentary came out? Second, when these girls came out with this accusations and stuff like that and how they feel, did they all come together to make this documentary? Are this all individual, like, cases? And are we the ones to, like, connect the dots when we watch and make this judgment on R. Kelly? I'm not saying he's right or anything, but those are the questions that I had in the beginning. And why is it that if I'm asking myself this, it's like, if he's guilty of these accusations and he's sick, obviously, in his head, why do I feel the need to make sure that he's actually guilty of this?
Right.
These charges? Is it because I'm feeling the fact that am I questioning if these girls are credible or not credible, and is that an issue? Like, I know a lot of people are saying on the internet that are asking the same questions you're asking, the timing, why now are these girls coming forward? Well, actually, in the documentary, the girls came forward a long time ago. They pressed lawsuits against R. Kelly, but he did settle. He settled with them.
Right.
I think they said 6-figure settlements. I believe that's all together. Don't quote me.
So do we know what the reason is why right now we have a Lifetime series? Is this just something that's been in the works for years? Or why is the reason now? I mean, like...
Or then maybe something stirring up within the music industry, and this is becoming prevalent. And then they want to bring us to a spotlight. Maybe it's not just a black person, but maybe using someone who's famous in the spotlight could bring the issues back to light.
Well, I think this has always been an issue with R. Kelly. This has gone on for 30 years? Yeah. Even R. Kelly admitted that if they wanted to do anything about this, they should have got him 30 years ago. And also last year with the muteRKelly, a lot of streaming services and artists went on the muteRKelly campaign.
Yeah. Oh, so that was R. Kelly last year.
Yeah, that was R. Kelly, or was it year before last? Anyway, it was recent. So they all did that, and that probably sparked the documentary. Mm-hmm. Either way,
the timing just happened.
I don't think the timing is important as much as what R. Kelly has done to these girls, and as a community, like, how are we going to progress in the future? Like, what are we going to do about this?
So moving forward,
what are we going to do about
mental
child
illness?
Molestation, mental illness?
Yes, that what we're calling it. Are we calling it mental illness? Are we calling it child
because if
endangerment or whatever?
It's all of that.
Right, because if it was a white person, it would have been
underage.
It would have been like.
Well, I mean, these
related
cases
to
are
mental illness,
happening.
but yeah.
Oh, right. They were making a mental illness case,
situation rather than a criminal situation.
Or crime. I didn't look at. I did look on social a little bit, and I have not seen a lot of. It's because he's black kind of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of racial stuff.
I
haven't seen a lot of racial slurs. Have you?
Yes, I have. A lot of people have been saying on social media how, if R. Kelly was white, he'd be okay. This wouldn't be happening. They're trying to bring a black brother down. I don't think that's the case. R. Kelly is a sick person.
Gotcha. No, I meant like in the other way, like. As soon as Trayvon came out, they were like, oh, he's a gangster. He's a this, he's a that. He's nobody. He's nothing. And that's why he does stuff like this. He probably shot that guy Zimmerman. So I'm just wondering if there's stuff out there like R. Kelly, like, well, look, he's a seductress, R&B artist. Of course, he's slick and shifty because he's a black guy. Most of the comments have been like, well, if he was white, people wouldn't make a big deal until like look at the Catholic Church. Like, they've been taking little boys for forever, and people still go to Catholic Church every day. Gotcha. You don't say, I don't go to church because one pastor did this or a bunch of pastors seem to do this. So I seen that, but I haven't seen the attack on like him as a black man, which I guess is a little bit of progress. Because normally it will be like, oh yeah, all those R&B singers go out here and rape girls. That's probably what all the black guys do.
No, I haven't seen much of that angle at all.
That's interesting.
And I'm sure people do feel like that.
The angles,
I haven't seen it.
Brave enough to talk
the angles that I have seen or I have read are a lot of people victim blaming the girls for being fast, but these are 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls. As one of the psychiatrists brought out in the documentary, they are not mentally developed yet. Like, it's easy to take advantage of them. They're impressionable young girls. So fast should not even be in your thought pattern.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't even call, especially as a black woman, you shouldn't even call another black child fast. That's not the case. Remember, this is a guy who is grown and he knows what he's doing. So, how can you blame the victim? And I've also seen a lot of people blame the parents, which I agree partially, but again, you can't place all of the blame on the parents. And I've also seen what I just said, like, oh, they're trying to take the black man down. No.
Gotcha.
R.Kelly was not about to buy PBS or anything.
All right. So now that we know basically all the facts of what happened and what came out.
Basically, there's so much more, you guys. I just gave you I just touched.
So what are our synopsis, our conclusions from what we want to take? What's our takeaway?
Obviously we want to target and go against what am I saying? We need to talk about the main problem, the main issues. So what are the underlying issues, or I guess what's in our faces, which is, to me, first it would be this
underworld of crime.
I don't want to say. What about over sexualism within the music industry, and what is allowed and what's not allowed? Because a lot sex and sexism has to do a lot with our music, our R&B music, and if this issue is bringing up a lot of issues that have with various artists, how is this going to affect other artists, and what is the line crossing between? Is it because they were minors and obviously that's wrong, or it doesn't have to be minors? It could be grown women that he could have been changing their minds, influencing them to do things that they really didn't want to do.
Well, it's this. I definitely think, because the question then becomes, who do you blame, right? Do you blame R. Kelly by himself?
Yes.
And not any legal system whatsoever for being able to catch this? I mean, we have laws out there to catch child predators, right? We have court systems that can catch child predators. We have to catch a predator, right? Yeah. But someone like R. Kelly is able to slip by all of that apparently unscathed.
Yeah, because
right?
he has ties to the cops and other people in Chicago, Florida,
Gotcha.
Atlanta.
So then that's my point. So other than R. Kelly, which is part of anytime you have a society of people, yes, people can commit murder, right, and the murderer is to blame. But also, if the murderer is not caught, who do they start blaming? They start blaming the sheriff. They start blaming the police department. They start doing justice system, because it's not just his fault. It's his fault if he does it once. Right. If this is a serial murderer, serial rapist, it's not R. Kelly's fault completely. Yes, he has his blame, and we have a prison system for that blame. We have that list that you're on, that Mike Tyson is on, the sexual deviant, whatever it's called. But the rest of it, let's go ahead and start pushing out blame. Because you were saying, and you were saying not to attack the victims, but what would make a victim say, yeah, this is cool, I'm going to do, because remember, all the victims at the time were consensual, right? Yeah. So what would make you stay behind a non-locked door, right, as a married person to your husband, and you want to stay behind that door? Nobody's got a gun to your head. Nobody's got a machete to your throat. You want to stay there. So then what you're talking about, the over sexualization of hip hop and R&B, and that these girls feel like this is their place. And every artist that comes out says it's your place to be a piece of meat, a piece of sexuality, a video hoe, whatever it is, or real life, play that video hoe in real life, be that same person in real life. So there is something to say for that. I don't know if you want to speak about, should we be modifying anything in our music or in our hip hop culture around how we objectify women in hip hop?
Definitely.
Or rock or pop or, any genre.
Definitely. I think a lot of music artists see women as objects, especially in their music. It comes across that way in their music. Also, with over sexualization, I think little black girls especially, are over sexualized by black men, and I think that should come to a halt.
Do you think that they're over sexualized only, not because as I mentioned, I was attacking every genre, because this happens in every genre, but also this happens with female artists who shall not be named. We know who their name is. who over-sexualize women, right? Who over-sexualize black women, and obviously who looks up to other black women, but black little girls or little girls of color. Anybody who's watching this content, it's not just the male artists out here. There's female artists out here half naked in every single video. How is that not over-sexualization? You know what I'm saying? It's not like you go on a Chris Brown video and there's underage girls in the video. Yeah. Right?
You love Chris Brown. You keep bringing him up in every podcast. Let him go.
He said let him fall where he lay.
Yes, thank you. Let the man rest, please.
So he does have a place in this conversation too, as well.
There isn't. If you're saying it's overly over-sexualization, we're not over-sexualization of minors. That's not what's on TV. So how would you get that? These are grown women who are in these videos and grown women who are these artists. So it's not like we're over-sexualizing young girls.
Is there an issue with parents that I see on social media that allow their kids to sing to these like very explicit songs, and these kids are like 2, 3, and they're dancing and they think it's cute and they put it up on Instagram? Oh, watch my kid, like she know every line of the song. So isn't that also problematic in the household where parents allow that to happen? And what does that instill within the child's mind, that this is okay and this is the way of like hip hop and this is a way of life? So when situations like that happen, they don't have a better understanding of like where there's like the right and the wrong.
Well, we have a daughter right here.
Okay.
We have a daughter right here. You used to say this about rap music, like, oh, if you listen to rap music, then you're part of this gangster culture.
Right.
If you listen to explicit music, if you listen to hood rat and thought music, where it is suggestive and it's all suggestive and it's all sex, and you know that as a 20-some-year-old, the fans of that are 14 and 17 and 13. You know what I'm saying? And their nieces and nephews who are 11 and 8. They're the ones in these Instagram videos as you saw now. Right. Do we blame the music? Is music to blame?
I don't know if we fully blame the music.
Because we can't control, like, we can't fully.
You can blame it if you want to.
I think some of the blame would fall on the parents, because that is their responsibility to teach their children, like, why things like this in the music are not right and why you shouldn't, rap those songs or sing those lyrics on social media, because that can send the wrong message to the wrong person. But yeah, I think that is partially the parents and partially the music.
That's also I feel like that's a communal problem too as well, because like, let's say in my hood, like everybody is listening to the like most popular Cardi B song or something, and it has all these words, and then these little kids are running around singing the songs, and it's like, well, I know how to do this. I just think this, like, isn't that an issue with, like, because you was like, oh, I want my kid to be cool, I want him to go to school and be able to relate to other kids, and
know
now it's becoming normalized, know the dances and know all that stuff. So that's like also an issue that we can like touch on.
Yes, I think the answer to your question is, as sad it is to say, yes, the music is part of, actually music is like a collection. So the music is part of the problem. That's true. It is. There's over sexualization in the music. But as a parent, it's like your kids have access to every piece of information out there. It's your job to have them disseminate it properly. So, yes, they have access to every kind of music and they can listen to any kind of music they want, but it's your job to instill in them Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Regina Bell and Patti LaBelle, and understand what the difference is between that and a Nicki Minaj lyric or a Boogie with a hoodie, drug cartel infused, rap dream. It's your job to instill in them the difference. You can't filter the world. You can just help them to understand it and the consequences of the choices that they make. And yeah, that is part of a parenting issue. That's part of a teacher issue. You notice that in school, they don't tolerate any music with foul language, right? If you go to school, the teachers handle it pretty well. They have the kids listen to fun stuff, and at your graduation they play current music, but they don't tolerate any rude gangster, any of that crazy music. They do not tolerate on an educational basis. That's any school. So I definitely agree that there's a place to teach your kids about that stuff. So,
And I also see a lot of teachers, I've seen like cool stuff where a teacher would take like a song that has very explicit words and remix it and make it like educational and like positive.
Teaching right and wrong.
So Yeah, I mean that feels like that's an issue. Like the music is an issue, but then, like you said, we have access to the music so easily. So who is to blame for? Is it accessibility because we're trying to maximize profit as music industry, or like the parents, or it goes both ways?
No, I think
and I don't want to blame all parents. I'm just mean that anyone who's like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
No, I just want to get back to this R. Kelly situation for a quick second.
Do it.
And a lot of people are defending him, and I just can't understand why.
Right.
Will brought up a good point, I think, the other day. He was saying, like, what is there to defend? Like, what are you guys really defending?
I don't know if we want to answer this question.
And I just came to the conclusion that I don't know what people are defending. And you guys are acting like R. Kelly is a savior, like he's Jesus Christ or something. Like, he gave us a few hits, or a lot of hits, and that's all he gave us. Outside of music, R. Kelly has not done anything for the black community. Regardless of what Erykah Badu said he did. And I just can't understand why you guys are going so hard for him. Like, what is there to go so hard for? Like, it is obvious that he hates women and he hates black women. Especially.
So, Will, do you want to try to take that? I did think about this. I have an answer for you, but go ahead, hit it up.
Nah, you could go.
Put me in the doghouse.
Right. I mean,
I was saying, we were talking about how you resolve this and how can this happen? How can an artist that you know and love go out there and have sex with underage girls and still is not in jail, and everybody's still okay with it, knows about it, and it's cool? So I think that right now, and not right now, but periodically in culture, you have everybody liking and agreeing to like one thing about one person and overall. Right now, we're kind of dealing with that in politics with Donald Trump. He can do a lot of wrong things, but because they like the fact that he's rich, it kind of Americans choose.
Rich and white.
Rich and white, right? Especially after Obama. We knew this was coming. So you get to choose which one are you more scared of, not having a rich and white guy in power or discrimination, and people choose.
My question is: scared, or you want to align yourself with that?
No, it's actually. No. I mean, you could take it back to all these things that happened. Look at Hitler was such a popular follower. Everyone was following him until you realize, like, wait, this is wrong.
Right.
And it took a whole community to come up and fight that. Slavery seemed okay, and it was social. People made it like gatherings, like it was cool, and that's when you have a collective train of thought, all looking at one idea and saying, well, what's the downside here? Is it that some people that we don't know become slaves? All right, we're good with that because they love the other idea that they get to make their own country, right? Before that, they were people from Ireland and from Germany and all over, from broken communities, and they came from war-torn countries and they didn't have anything. So their love of America was bigger than their hate of slavery. Here, our love of R. Kelly's music is greater than all the sins that comes with that. Him creating that music or just being a person,
which is amazing because it is just it is only music.
But this happens periodically all the time. People were like, did you vote for Obama just because he's black, because you want a black president, or do you actually know any single one policy that he's actually put forward?
Right.
But the power of having a black president meant more than anything else, and luckily
the power of having such a huge influence means more than
it meant more. So having R. Kelly being an artist and putting out music and getting all these accolades in the music industry was more of a love, and is more of a love than the
love that we have for our black women. Let's just keep it
is
real.
true. Yeah, it's less than the love that we have for our young black women who are 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old.
His music means way more to people than a human life.
Right. Now,
because he's glorified.
Whenever this happens, usually the federal government comes in and says, all right, I see that I need to equalize something here. Yes, you guys love having slaves, but that's wrong. So we're going to have the Emancipation Proclamation saying that's illegal, even though you still love it.
Yeah.
And they made it illegal because even it's like you can't go by it's a democracy, but we have an elected democracy where you can't go by the majority all the time because majority's crazy. The majority out here for R. Kelly got us out here with pedophiles.
Yeah, the majority of white women voted for Trump in the office.
Never go by majority. You got to go by what is right. So somebody's got to step up and say what's right. Yes, the majority love Bill Cosby. The majority loves OJ. The majority probably was supporting Harry Weinberg, whatever. All those white comics.
Kobe Bryant.
Louis C.K., Kobe Bryant. And not to just mention black guys, but these are people all over. It would have been more. There's a lot more sex scandals come out and people going to jail. And politics even that are white, that are not black, because the love of one thing overcomes the hate of the bad things. And something, and that's just, he just exploited that in us. That's true.
And do you think?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I got you. There you go. Hey. So yes, that is the truth. And what can we do about that? Laws is the only thing, because if you just leave it to the people, they're just going to continue to support hate until you make it illegal to put up Nazi signs. If they didn't make it illegal, people will still do it. The KKK is still a group because people still love them. You have to make it illegal. You have to turn it into a hate group. And then they legally can't convene, because if you just left it up to the people, they would still do a lot of things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
what do you have to say about that?
I'm just saying that in this documentary, I know it was focused on R. Kelly, but were there other names dropped? Was there other
names of
other
who?
artists or anybody else that they seen?
Did you hear the Drake thing?
What?
No, Drake is being accused for molesting a minor.
Not accused. They have the whole video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I am no Drake fan, so I have no dog in this fight. So.
Wait, let's just say who we fans of, because after you find out.
Wait. Let's talk about the Drake situation in the field. Well, let's get to Will's
I was just wondering, like, if this is just solely based on like R. Kelly, or like this is gonna bring people to nitpick, or not just nitpick, but bring other situations to light. And
like,
I just
why are we playing Nelly? Why are we playing Kendrick Lamar? Why are we playing?
Why is this
Tupac, Biggie
documentary focus on R. Kelly? Because that's also one thing. Like, if you bring out other artists and stuff, like, people won't go like, oh, like, look at that. They're just trying to get R. Kelly and bring our people down. So I was just wondering if this documentary also shed light on other situations, or maybe just brought something up that's not just R. Kelly.
Yeah, did they?
I didn't really catch that in the documentary. I don't know if anyone else that is listening caught that, but I don't think it focused on other people. I don't think it touched on Weinstein. Is that his name? Weinstein.
Harry Weinstein.
Or I don't think it touched on Bill Cosby. Definitely did not touch on Bill Cosby. Right. But no, this was solely about R. Kelly, and that is okay. Once we get one person down, we just move on to the next one. That's just how it's going to be.
But
that's what's causing a lot of division too.
I didn't know there was division until I saw an interview back then when they were like, this guy called it, like, we all knew. We were aware of the facts, and a few people just didn't ignore them. They're like, okay, I'm not listening to R. Kelly anymore, because you saw the video, you saw what it was, you saw the girl the girl wanted to say it was consensual, but obviously she was underage, so she couldn't legally, so technically that was illegal. But this interviewer was interviewing this guy, and he was like, nah, R. Kelly did this, that's why I don't listen to him. She was like, nah, you better stop talking about R. Kelly, because you're going to make me lose my job, because these are lies and these are not true. Like, people are gung-ho on the other side. Yes. Like for real.
What are some of the comments?
Passionate. It's not true. You have no proof.
I can't even say some of the comments because they are so violent. Like, I kid you not. Like, people are being violent about this.
Yeah, but what's this perspective of supporting him or going to, like, supporting, like, I don't see any idea of, like, how you can support him. Like, you have to scratch out all the other what would you say, like, reasons or blames, because this was solely, like you said, was focused on one person and his actions. Clearly his actions were brought to light, and you saw what he was doing. And if you put that into a singular case, you can easily just say that something's definitely wrong with him. Even his brother his brother going to jail for him, or like, what is it,
hold up, breaking news. Oh God!
Wait,
did his brother go to jail for him, or did his brother take the hit?
Randos breaking news moment right now. 3 hours ago, did you see this?
No.
A Facebook page claiming to belong to R. Kelly announced the leak of a sex tape of one of his victims in an attempt to clear his name. R. Kelly and his camp have reportedly created a Facebook page, according to TMZ. The page, along with a website, were meant to discredit the women who appeared in the recent Lifetime series surviving R. Kelly.
Oh gosh.
This
See,
man-
this is
Wow.
what money does. You
This
can have
man-
bread. You can easily just.
This man does not stop. What is he? What is his sign?
He denied all the
What is his
accusations
sign?
against him.
What is,
Neither he nor
is
any
he a
blame it on his
Capricorn?
sign.
What is his sign? Like
you can't blame it on. his
yeah, I'm
sign.
gonna, that's what I'm gonna have to blame it on. He is beyond petty. Okay,
Yeah.
He, in addition
That's
to a
he's
video,
psycho. He's a psycho.
He's a-
he also
He's a
leaked
narcissistic.
text
Yeah.
messages containing cropped images
Boy,
allegedly
bye.
of one of the sex
Boy,
tapes
bye.
and a woman showing a person believed to be R.Kelly.
boy, bye.
Lord.
We saw the
because he
sex
paid
tape.
for their breast augmentation.
We
Oh,
and
because
it's all online right
because he
now.
probably
Wow.
forced the woman to get a sex tape. Like, what does that have to do with anything? You were
Yeah.
still raping 14-year-olds. You had sex with a what? You had sex
Listen.
with a 14-year-old Aaliyah. You had sex with that 14-year-old girl from the sex tape. You had sex with hella minors, dude. Like, these women were not of age. You're
Wow.
still a rapist.
I think
no
I'll
matter.
say so. So
It
what I
doesn't
gather,
matter. It
what I
doesn't
gather
matter.
is that the bigger point of what could possibly happen and come out of this series is that there was a crime that committed, and the crime that was committed, not so much locking girls in dungeons, not so much not letting girls use the bathroom, but of committing sex acts against minors.
Right.
That
And
is
that is a-
maybe
that is a
two,
crime.
maybe one account in video and maybe two other accounts by audio. Is that
Also,
correct?
Right.
I would
and if
say
you have evidence, like
I would say kidnapping. I would
understand.
say kidnapping too. Some of those girls
Kidnapping
are
and
because
being held hostage.
yeah, definitely right. Without the
Yeah.
consent of
And kidnapping
their
could be a
parents,
potential
or-
charge, because my understanding is that the girls can just have to ask to do
to
this or
to
ask
do the
this.
right. So they
But it's not like locked doors and hidden basements, and they
they have to ask
chains
if
and all
right.
that.
They have to
Yeah.
ask if
Where's
they can
the
go to the
chains? There's no
bathroom, if they
key.
can eat.
Yeah.
So of course they would have to ask if they could leave the house.
So that means they're
So-
not chained up.
No, but that's still holding a person hostage.
Oh wow.
You don't have to be in chains to be held
Morgan's
hostage.
gonna release the charges tomorrow.
I wish I could. I mean, I wish I could. Yeah.
Now,
All the charges.
why don't we just talk about one quick thing, which is okay. This bomb hit. And you guys got the breaking news. Morgan, being from Chicago, how does this affect people's view of another hero?
Hero.
You know, another hero that's like, listen, this is R.Kelly. This is our music. He brought Chicago, well, along with the Bulls and everybody else. I mean, and the Bears. Sorry about the Bears. Did y'all see that game?
Yo, Chicago has been.
Did y'all see that
Yes.
game? Oh
yes.
my God.
Chicago has been taking L's all week. We took
Why?
an L. We took an L with Kanye when he said he was still going to support Trump. We took an L when what's the guy named Corey?
but
Colin?
Obama came from there.
What's
so.
what's the Bears guy? The kicker?
Yeah, the kicker.
Cody something.
I
Cody.
think his last name starts with
Yes.
a P.
Yeah.
He
wasn't
he
his
took an
Why?
L.
But he did come up and say professionally, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. I'll
No,
do
but it's
better
the
next
coach's
time.
Like,
fault
we were
on
this
the Eagles.
close.
It's the
We
coach's
were
fault on the
this
Eagles
close.
to get in his mind.
We were this
To
close.
call that timeout right when he kicked the ball.
We were this
He
close.
knew what he was doing. The
Yeah.
Eagles coach. He was
Play with
like,
his
if there's a
mind.
prayer in heaven, I'm going to make this guy miss. We're just going to, and you know that last ball was
said
all
you're
the
not-
way to the
he
right.
said-
So he had to angle it to the left
He's
anyway,
first
which
of all,
is the
he
worst.
said you're not gonna make it twice in a row.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what
not
he
a
pretty
huge
much-
football fan, so I don't know like
Oh,
the rules
the
or
coach was
anything.
messing
But I
with
did
him.
notice that it was
He made
really
it.
far left to the right.
Nah, he made it the first time.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And
I see. I
yeah.
wasn't
He
watching
called
Nah,
the
the
game.
Eagles coach got to do what they do because they were losing the game all over the place.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is the Bears taking an L because it was the Bears that beat themselves. It was not the Eagles that beat them because the Bears could have just did a touchdown. No one could stop them on the wings. They were just dominant.
Nah,
They could
Tom
have just
was
got
running-
another
Tom
touchdown.
was running out.
They still right
Like,
because
you're
you would have
either
ran.
going for that or you're taking a chance.
It was
to kick
10
the joker.
seconds. Those
Yeah.
guys were murdering it. They didn't have to. They should just went for the touchdown, not even settle for the
back.
kick.
So back to your. back to the-
Yeah,
sorry,
so that's the second L we took. Then we took a third L. 3 times is the charm. We took a third L with this R.Kelly documentary. But I think Chicago will just move on after a while. I don't think anybody is going to harbor on this situation. Like, I mean,
Who's the R&B king
I
of
just want to
Chicago?
understand,
right
like,
Quincy Jones.
Is he from Chicago?
oh, now he's
Yo,
yeah, he's a
that's
gangster.
one of my mentors right there, Quincy
Quincy
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Weird.
Unfortunately, he got some stuff came out with his interview. Did you see that?
Lord, no.
Okay,
that
anyway,
was-
I mean, nobody is
Took
clean.
another- I was like, no, not Quincy
Not
Jones.
Quincy.
Quincy's not taking no L's. Come on now.
No, listen.
He did. They
can't take
got
those.
him. They got him
Nah.
good.
So,
I
I
was
mean,
like,
I think Chicago people would just move
that
on.
was
like,
my man.
So we can say nobody's perfect.
That's why I got music, yo.
no, no.
Quincy Jones.
Yo,
How old
okay. Quincy, he's like 85.
It's so sad.
85. He's 85.
I still got baby face. The baby face, please don't do nothing. Please.
That we don't know of yet. Anyway, no, but we're just gonna move on. I mean, you're gonna have people who strongly defend R.Kelly. You're gonna have people who strongly do not defend R.Kelly. I think everybody would just move on at the end of the day. There's nothing we can do because R.Kelly is also tied to. I'm not gonna say it's nothing we can do, but the odds are slim right now. R.Kelly has ties to Chicago Police Department, and if you know anything about them, they are grimy as heck.
But I'm paid for it.
They say they need to be grimy to take care of what's happening over there.
They are
like
grimy.
You have to have a certain.
Let me tell you guys this quick story. Let me tell you guys this quick story.
Time.
So, R. Kelly had a house. He had his mansion in Olympia Fields. And I know a few people, when R. Kelly was living at that house, he used to have parties like every weekend. He would there's a Holiday Inn hotel in the same nearby. So he would have a bus located at the Holiday Inn hotel, and girls would just get on the bus, and the bus would take them to his house.
I can't even say anything. This got
like this is. I mean, everybody knew this that this was going on. I have close friends who.
Everybody knew that he's a orgy
I have a
type
cousin.
guy.
I have a cousin who went to a couple of his parties.
Did
you speak to that cousin?
Have you spoke to her recently?
About this situation?
I haven't.
Oh,
Do you know if she's?
I don't think she's not that type of girl.
Not that type. I thought that was everybody's type.
But she's in the party at R.Kelly.
She was also of age at the time of the party, so he's probably not looking at her in her direction. Right. So yeah, but no, I just wanted to say that like these.
Do you want to quickly talk about the type?
Not even type.
Underage.
Wait, hold up. How did they have R.Kelly chilling outside schools and like
no one said anything?
Yo. You know what they do?
He was coming.
There's usually parts.
He was allowed in the building.
Crazy. Like, it's a lot of people who should be held accountable for that.
Right. Like, it's not just him. You should be arresting a whole lot of people.
His music teacher from Kenwood knew all along that he was crazy.
Look the other way. That's what they do.
Like, people people mind, black people love to say like how they mind their business. Oh,
mind your business. Let him do his thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
Even the brother was like, he likes young girls. Some people like young girls. They like young looking girls.
Well, you guys, that's
all the people on To Catch a Predator are like, younger girls are cuter. Younger girls have no acne. Get them before they get crazy, before chemicals get them. They're perfect weight. Like, why would you not like what's not to like?
Exactly.
Other than and who cares about the mental maturity of it?
You guys are really disgusting.
And guess who likes the young boys? Also the guys. Ain't that messed up?
Oh, nasty.
Dang.
So what else do we
Never go to the Philippines. I don't know if y'all know. Young Central.
So what else do we want to talk about today?
Oh my God.
Is there anything lighter?
Lighter? It's R.Kelly, man. So who's responsible for this at Lifetime? Who's responsible for putting all this together? Do we know?
That I don't know.
But then my thing
coming to BET?
Because my thing was saying was like, okay, like you are putting him on spotlight, but then it was gonna happen, and also Lifetime will be getting profits.
Oh, like they profited
off this documentary.
Oh, they
so
hit
what do you
numbers.
think about that?
They hit numbers.
So if they hit numbers,
they did numbers.
All right, so they're doing numbers based on exploitation of somebody, or are they really trying to break that to like? What do you don't mind it being exploited?
I don't think exploit is the right word.
They are getting money from it, though.
In other words, Lifetime wouldn't have picked this up if they couldn't make a full story out of it.
Right.
I think the thing was someone got all of the girls to say, kind of like BET, the New Edition, but you had to get all 6 artists of New Edition to do it in order to make it something. Otherwise, nobody would watch it. If you would have got 1 or 2 girls to come out, it wouldn't have been anything. But to get everybody on board at the same time, and basically for free or whatever.
How about
they
use
paid
the profits and give it to the girls so they make the lives, somewhat better.
What are you going to tell? Will, tell me what you're going to tell your 14-year-old niece, your 12-year-old niece.
Don't talk to strangers.
Idolizing.
Don't talk to strangers.
Chris Brown.
Don't talk to
who's
strangers.
idolizing Chris Brown, Usher, Drake, who's idolizing these guys. They go to a concert and they get called up on stage. What are you going to tell them, Will?
I just tell them be responsible, know like your limits, know like what situation, be aware of your surroundings, and like and that's something you instill in them. Like, yo, if you go do this, there's a danger of people picking you up, kidnapping, especially you being a girl. Like that's something a black girl That's something you need to understand your surroundings.
People, you got to let them know what prize they have, because if not, R. Kelly will let you know what prize you have.
Okay.
If you don't tell your daughter that she's beautiful and that men are gonna want to take advantage of you, if you don't tell them that, then somebody else is gonna tell them that. So you got to be the one as the parent.
I think also as a parent, you need to be open enough that, I mean, your child.
So they're gonna be open enough.
Your child should feel comfortable enough to come to talk to you if something like that was to happen to her. You know what I'm saying?
So do parents have to have these conversations at a very, very young age?
Yes.
Because now you're having people that are
now,
but you know,
sex talks. You got to do
sex
it every
talks.
year.
and
When is it?
you know, black people, black parents, especially black older parents, cringe at this.
They don't do. They don't
do it. They don't.
Did you guys? Did your parents give you guys a sex talk?
I don't even like talking
so we could have been
about
out
sex
here in the
with
R.
my
Kelly
mom.
video, surviving R. Kelly.
I cringe. My mom cringes. Like, it's not a comfortable thing for me.
I don't know why I'm laughing. But that's
messed up.
I don't like it.
Listen. So first off, we are blaming R. Kelly. He should get prison time if any of these allegations are 100% true.
I think he should
What
get
is the
more
time
than
for?
prison.
What do you get for to catch a predator? What do you get? What's that list that you get on the sexual predator list? Where you can't be within
child molestation,
so many miles of a school.
Yeah.
You need to do that. You need to do time for each count.
He's not on that. He's not on that.
No
I never even thought about that.
He's still by school today.
Is it because of
He's probably in the
it's
word basketball game?
Is word over evidence? Like
no, that's
you have to have evidence.
He has ties, bro.
Oh, does words equal evidence?
Yeah.
I'm
saying,
if it's proven, yeah.
So there's no convictions. There's nothing happening.
No convictions yet, but we'll see what happens with the end of this.
After
Remember,
this
they had to do a
documentary.
Cosby special before they got Cosby.
They're gonna clearly investigate this, and so that's your. What was your idea again? Like, how do you solve issues like that, and like having?
You're always gonna get not to use.
What about the specific? We were talking earlier. The specific.
You're
unit
always gonna
to
get somebody who finds a hole in the system. You're always gonna find somebody who finds a hole and finds how to get by.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, the shoe bomber in the airport, all that security, and they found a way to sneak it into your underwear. So you sneak about my man El Chapo. What's his name?
You hiding shit in your pussy.
What's his name? What? Oh yeah, excuse me.
That's real. That's
They
real.
still don't know how to do that one. No, honestly, they still don't know how to stop a drug mule. To this
so
day,
many ways.
There's so many. Once if you eat the drug, put it in your stomach and hide it there, and then come out later. The only thing they did was, you know what they did? Whoever's coming from Colombia, you get a special screening where they check you they give you an X-ray to check to see if there's drugs in
your
you.
system.
So guess how they got past that? Colombia's amazing. They only use pregnant women because they can't scan you if you're pregnant. But none of the guys used to carry more drugs than the girls. The guys used to eat like 120 pellets, and the girls would eat like 60 and 80 pellets. But the guys, they can, if you come from a certain area, you automatically get that drug screen. You know what I'm saying? If you're on a list or whatever. Because what happens is Colombia, they buy up like the whole plane. So everybody on the plane, and they stop in like one person. But everybody on the plane from Colombia is carrying drugs. You know what I'm saying? So there's always holes in the system. You got to have special investigators to be able to go and find this stuff amongst the normal community. You know what I'm saying? Because you're always going to have crazy people, and regular laws they're not going to abide by. So you got to have a next level. So hopefully, I'm rooting for a next level of a special investigative unit for people with wealth and power who are accused of sexual assault. Will come out here and hit these people, just like we have Law and Order SVU. We got people that hit. Let's just get R. Kelly first,
please.
If R. Kelly gets convicted, how will you feel?
Amazing.
You won't feel sad that another legend gets taken down?
No.
How did you?
What if they still play his music?
Chicago already lost another legend. I don't care about losing another one. Okay. I don't.
It's like I can't even feel hurt no more. I'm
numb.
There's just too much happening right now. How'd you feel about Bill Cosby?
Do you still watch the Cosby Show?
I was a little hurt to find out he really did.
It's the same thing. It's like
Cosby Show is legendary. Dead. Like, it's a classic.
But
who did not love the Cosby Show? Right. It's hard for me to watch it. Like, I haven't seen an episode in so long.
I have.
But even if I see like a little clip, it's hard for me to watch it because
can we separate
I don't think we
people?
would have ever imagined that he would do something like that because he was such a family man on the Cosby Show.
Right. It's not like you did
No, we cannot separate.
Would it be irresponsible to separate
let me bring something up, and then we can just wrap this up. You cannot separate the man from the art, the artist from the art. And I see like a lot of men.
say you can't?
You cannot. And I see a lot of men, especially black men, trying to do that with R. Kelly, talking about, well, he's sick, but I'm still going to listen to his music. A lot of his music was about his experiences with these minors.
Now that is interesting.
With these minors. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the songs he wrote, even the songs he wrote for different artists.
It's official. We gonna do
we're inspiration from.
Also, and I see like, a lot of men are just hypocrites. Y'all are hypocrites because when Frank, men
and women,
because when Frank Ocean came out and he revealed that he was gay, a lot of y'all were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna listen to Frank anymore." Like he was singing about about men. Yeah. So like keep that same energy with R. Kelly. Honestly, that's how I feel.
Is Neo gay? I still listen to Neo.
Who?
Oh, wait, Neo?
Yeah. Is Neo gay? I'm sorry. Luther Vandross is gay. You still tell me I'm.
He never came out and said.
Luther Vandross is gay?
See, exactly. He never came out and said he was gay.
Stop.
That's a rumor.
Morgan. He said he's gay.
That's a rumor.
Stop.
Oh,
that's a rumor.
I love Luther Vandross.
That's a rumor, bro.
All the rappers were drug dealers.
It's not going to change anything, by
maybe murderers.
That's because he's dead, so you have a little you are sympathetic.
Stevie Wonder's blind. Can I still listen? Can I still
Stevie
listen?
Who said he was bi? Anyway.
No, blind, not bi.
Anyway.
Yes. I think I could separate. I can watch the Cosby Show and understand that I'm an adult though, so I know how to separate someone's art and passion from them misusing their life.
Is it being an adult? It's
being an adult because
it could be irresponsible to not put it together if you think about it, because it's like he is responsible for creating that music and. His inspiration is from all these.
We got update.
Oh my God! Breaking news!
News!
Breaking news!
What you got?
Breaking news! Beyonce was spotted in Target today.
Where's she buying? What was she buying? Did she
She's in the pamper aisle. She's in the pamper aisle.
Oh, like she has another baby.
No,
the
twins are still on diapers, y'all.
She just got Target to pay
for all of this. Oh my God! Do you know if I was in Target? Oh my God! I would be in all the aisles.
Yeah, Beyonce's in Target. Damn, I was in Target like last week.
Beyonce's always in Target.
She didn't buy anything in Target. She was in Target.
And Glenn tries to talk about my Target shopping all the time.
Listen, I'm the OG. I'm the OG. And they try to make a dollar store into like a mega store. It's Target, okay? This is just your bodega
Target is
hood.
Not a dollar
this
store.
Is your bodega hood store. This is that got everything. That's what Target is.
I went to Target for food shopping and they didn't have no veggies. Like they had everything, but they didn't have no like.
They got veggies in cans.
No salads, nothing, no greens.
Like what happens when Beyonce walks in Target? Like what do the staff do? Do you have to shut down the store?
You do have to.
No, you don't.
You don't. No. It's just gonna be regular. We just see Beyonce just walk in.
No, yeah.
You don't think her life is on the like
what she?
Do you know I would drop all my stuff?
Well, Morgan is a. Listen, I'm a backstage kid, so I'm not like a groupie fan. I don't do the groupie thing. I could see somebody not blink an eye. I'm good. But I can understand people like, oh my God, that's Drake. Oh my God, that's whatever. I'm like, did she put money in my pocket? I could care less how many records she sold. She probably ain't get none of that money herself.
Out
here like TLC, to be a fan. Platinum, and not have more money than somebody that works at McDonald's. I'm good. I'm not that much of a fan where I'm gonna lose my stuff over it.
So that's just a problem. People are so like consumed by like the artist or in their work that they forget to blame the person themselves for that situation, like R. Kelly. Go ahead.
All right, listen, it's been fun. It's been real. This is a great date. You guys want to do this again sometime?
It has been sick.
You want to think about it?
Sick.
I don't got no sick effects. But Morgan, thank you for your take.
Sick effects
on everything. Really, really appreciate it.
Really well.
Yes, Willie Will, aka Gunshot, and the OG. We thank you guys for listening, and we're gonna come back. Sorry, we made this whole thing about
R. Kelly, but
this is the Randos.
It was necessary.
This is the Randos, so we just gonna take it where it naturally goes. Okay, this ain't corporate money. We just talk like real people. So, on that note, you guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll see y'all next week
for the upcoming next episode on Four Randos.
All right, see you guys later.